Disclaimer. This game is a work of fiction. Any persons, people, events that resemble true events are purely coincidence. And with that, hi, I'm Keegan, and this is A Bunch of Gamers. This is our 226th episode of Werewolf the Apocalypse 20th Anniversary Edition, Journey Through the Dreams. I'm going to go around and have my players introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Sam. I play Cora. She's an Aruna in the Geta Fenris.
Hi, I'm Adam. I play Mark Guides the Fallen, and he's a third of the Children of Gaia.
Hi, I'm Sean. I play Zeb Speaks-in-Sweet-Whispers. He is a Theurge of the Silent Striders.
Hello, my name is Riley, and I am playing Dimitri Howls-In-Memory, Lupus Galliard of the Bone Gnawers.
Hi, my name is George. I am playing William Grows-Matrices. He is a rune of the Glasswalkers.
Last time, the Pax returned to Sacred Stone and learned that the Children of Gaia were performing a rite to see how the future and the apocalypse would play out. After receiving their visions, the Pax were then approached by the Mokole, who asked them to show proper remorse for the War of Rage. After performing some rituals, some rites, and showing their own remorse, the Mokole had agreed and told them that they could be sent through a dream into the past, in a way, and learn from it. The Pax agreed, taking their drugs and meditating in a safe place, only to find themselves at the faces of their parents, now in the past. You hear the distant voice of Radiant Light in your ears. She speaks up briefly, saying that there will be gateways that will lead you further back and into the lives of another ancestor. As you continue your way down the dream, be wary of nightmares, for some have changed the past and the dream, and the wound creates creatures that hunt, and the traumas of the past, the true traumas of the past, also create wounds that hunt and can rend you. If you die in this dream, you will sleep until your body gives up.
So Matthias is here, right?
Yes.
All right, so we'll just do the quick to make figure out who's who. So Zeb's his ma'am, and Kyle is his daddy, and Cora's her daddy, and Mark is his.
Is there a reflective source nearby I could take a look?
Yeah.
We will do that.
As you look, you see that you're your ma.
All right.
And having never seen my mother, actually, or have a good look, I am locked. Mom?
As the lips repeat the words to you.
And I'll just kind of
reflection.
Feel my face.
Doing all the things.
William is his dad?
Yeah, go with that.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. And then I guess our truth is there, or Dimitri, Howls-In-Memory is there. Yeah. I guess the Hamid portion of that relationship, unless a different looking wolf is here.
Yeah, it's a different looking wolf.
Different looking wolf. All right, sweet, cool. All right,
and then Matthias is looking like is a young man, maybe in his 20s, early 20s now, 25, of looks to be of South American descent.
And where does it look like we are right now? Or what are we
in? I
mean, we're room with a mirror, clearly.
Yeah, you guys are... No, you guys are on a city street in the 80s. It looks like you're in Colorado Springs. Yeah, it's all Colorado Springs. Okay. It's super small. Whole swaths of buildings are missing.
I mean, the other part that Zeb will do then is look across the Umbra here by comparison. So, I mean, it's chiefly what he's looking for to see... If anything, he'd start to work toward if there were banes or very clear areas where the worm is starting to fester.
There are
although
spots,
quite a far lesser degree.
So it's harder. Because this isn't a true full capture of reality, and the Mokole had trouble reaching the Umbra, you're going to actually have to roll for it.
Okay. Roll to peek?
Yep.
Okay. Interesting.
As you peek into the Umbra, there's definitely a weaver... a weaver presence. The worm is not nearly as powerful here. Even before the rebellions and the homeless roundups that have been happening in your own time. But the worm is still here, obviously. But the Weaver is a little stronger than you'd expect, especially near Sacred Stone, as a lot of tech companies are there using that to cool down their servers. The weather is relatively cool, and given that it's close to winter time, it is far colder than the last, half a decade of winters you remember being here in Colorado Springs.
Is there anyone, paying any mind to us?
People are moving, they're bumping, they're greeting you, they're kind of talking. They recognize and acknowledge your existence.
Okay. If that's the case, sorry for Dimitri. But being a wolf off leash in the middle of downtown Colorado Springs, I don't know if that's a great idea. Is there anything that we could use to be like, hey, actually,
Dimitri
we
could
are
use Guys of the
responsible?
Hound.
Oh, okay. Spectacular. Never mind then.
Who's got that gift?
Yes, I do.
Never mind then.
So make that roll real quick for us, Dimitri.
Yeah. Did Radiant Light happen to mention how we could find these other doors, or if these doors are tied to events of our
As she
ancestors?
goes, you kind of hear her go, they're related not necessarily to events. You have to find them. They're gateways that might be to significant places. They might just be places where time breaks open and you're able to cross through. But they will be clear because you will see the light from them.
My first gut instinct would possibly to head back to Cairn Grounds and maybe just see if that's just conveniently, maybe there's a door there.
There's a beautiful basset hound.
As a suggestion, as a beautiful nice.
Where that
So-
wolf was.
Good first instinct. My first thought would be maybe Palmer Statue or the Pioneer Museum, as they are related to history, the history of the area, where time might be open, if that makes sense.
I understand.
Like
where
the
you're
Pioneer
getting at,
Museum.
Cora.
You go to a history museum and you're almost transported back in time, right? So there's the correlation in my brain.
Playing to the wording.
Uh,
I like that, Cora. That's a good idea. It's closer too.
It is. We could probably just turn our heads and look.
What street are we on?
You're in the
From,
northern
our
downtown
memory.
area. So
Okay.
you're in North Nevada.
North Nevada, 1980s.
Right
Ooh,
before
that's
it becomes a dirt road.
Yeah. Okay. So it kind of just looks like Bumpkin Mountain Town nowhere right now, actually, from what I can remember.
And you can see the downtown area. Just you're right on where the pavement ends.
Okay, cool, easy, and heck, we could just walk there from here if we want to check out there first. And I'll look at the rest of the pack members and allies.
All right, let's go.
Get a shrug from Zeb. That's good enough.
Cool. So you guys start heading over to the Pioneer Museum, and you hear something. It's a kind of screech and a howl as you see this kind of black inky being with multiple arms, spiderwebbing onto some of the buildings, sniffing as you see it grow noses of different animals, and they blob down the bodies, sniffing in general directions with gnashing teeth.
Is there screaming from the people around it?
No, they do not see it.
Spectacular. I'm guessing that's one of the nightmares that we were told about. How do we fight something that we can see but people can't see without rending the veil?
Avoid it.
I was gonna say, let's just avoid it. Radiant Light
That's
did
not
suggest.
fighting it, though.
Radiant Light suggested.
A vision that the Mokole are interpreting of what the world is, so
Could be it.
rend away.
Oh yeah, we are in a vision. But, the Almighty has said we should probably avoid it.
What was I lying?
The voice said in the back of her head.
You're probably lying 90% of the time, but I believe in the goodness of the Almighty and
the Almighty
and
Radiant
choose
Light.
to believe and follow in faith.
I should give you my
Spoken like a
highlighted
true
Bible.
Garu.
Huh?
Should give you my highlighted Bible. Okay, avoiding. It's pretty easy to do.
Yes.
As you're moving through, and as you get into the Pioneer Museum, you do see something that does seem like a light, an unnatural light with a shimmer. As you start moving closer, you hear the last bit of Radiant-Light's voice. My voice will get more and more distant the further in time you go. You must seek for the answers in the past and these gifts of the past, because as warm-blooded changers, you can learn what we cannot from these ancient visions.
Quick question before we go further. How do we get back when we are done?
Eventually, you'll be able to see through time and move back much easier than moving. You'll be able to move forward in time via the vision to your proper time easier than moving back. Moving back is what takes the effort. Being in the now is what is easy.
Alrighty, thank you.
Before there's any interest in the shimmer, Mark's gonna find another kind of reflective surface and try to tattoo the imagery of his mother's face in his brain. His first time ever seeing his mother's face. So he's like, gotta remember this, gotta remember this, gotta remember this.
Sure. All right. As you start to move through, you pass through. The Pioneers Museum is now is a little less put together in some ways. One sec. All right. As you step out, it looks like it's been recently renovated. You all look different once again, as Dimitri looks like an even different wolf. Cora,
What do our clothes look? Oh, I'm sorry.
Cora, you look familiar. It's really hard to tell though as you touch your male face and you kind of like scrunch it around as you realize you're your grandfather. Mark, you take on the appearance of another woman, also one that you have no knowledge of. She looks similar to the woman you were before, but some more distinct features such as a shorter haircut. William, you are now a woman as well. And Zeb, you look like your grandpappy. You've seen the pictures of him. As you step out and see Colorado Springs in a completely different light.
Ooh, 60s.
I was gonna say like black and white, or
No, black and white would be a real weird like combo thing. I don't think we're ready for that. 60s Colorado Springs.
It's nighttime in the city, shockingly, right? And you see a familiar face. He's hasn't changed in all these years, looking young. The only thing that's really changed is his clothes. As Nicholas Bonnet, Prince of Colorado Springs, moves through the city streets, talking with some people in front of one of the local establishments.
Can we overhear some of their conversation?
Yeah, he's talking about, current events, things like that. His suit is very trendy for the time, as he's talking about possible business acquisitions to help keep Colorado Springs relevant and maybe even make it a bigger town than Pueblo. Though they're directly competing with the steel mill of the city down south, which has had a direct impact on their population, their profitability, given that there is major industry in Pueblo.
Maybe that's our next stop, down in Pueblo. Quite a distance, though, especially for what's probably just dirt road. Do we see any other familiar faces? Because this is when the town is like real tiny. This is like see the same car going the same direction every day kind of time.
Correct.
was the cairn open at this time?
It was.
Maybe get a gander of what the elder members of the cairn looked like back in the day, giving us orders now. But I think that is a good. What was that, William?
We're looking to learn something in the past to bring it forward to the future with us. I guess the best place we can start would be the cairn, or, I just don't know if it's something physical, if it's some knowledge, or knowledge of something physical.
So, do you want to just check out the cairn and see? Oh, Dimitri getting pets.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else. What about you guys?
Well, you are right. That did kind of tether me in. I think we're just going through time. We are trying to look for something.
So, going to Sacred Stone, you notice that it is majority Children of Gaia and Silverfang, but there are a few members of Older Brother here now. They seem to be getting acquainted. They're clearly uncomfortable with the area as the elder approaches you. Welcome, siblings. Welcome, welcome. This is the Sept of the Sacred Stone, newly named. We're trying to recapture the strength of this place. You may have heard of this place before for the visions that the Silverfangs were giving, the Sept of Heaven's Steps. But we went back with Sacred Stone to honor our older brother siblings who are starting to come back.
I am Horus Icebreaker of the Silent Striders. It has been some news that has spread for a time about the change, and I suppose congratulations in order for stabilization of an important place of power. We are passing through for the moment. Always a place to be to next, but we thank you for your hospitality. Are there any other... Does the worm fester near here? Is there something we might do for a night of hospitality at this great cairn?
The worm doesn't fester here. Well, not a little bit, I suppose, on the southern end of the city. There are humans who are not fans of our great neighbors down south. Too much mixing, so to speak, given all the immigrants who've been living in the city and making Pueblo really pop, if you know what I'm saying.
Indeed. Well, good to know that in general things are as stable as they can be, and growing. We heard overheard here, fortunately for me, some goings on in the town of Pueblo. Any concern for you all here?
Yeah, we're always concerned, but it seems that we have a good number of Rats brothers down there. They've been kind of working as a sept without a Karen, which is a wild notion, but, might be a good idea just sometimes, right? Depending on, I guess depends on how well we're able to keep this place on lockdown, given how few places of power are left,
Do I ever, indeed. Every bit counts. Any idea of what Rat's children are trying to get after down south other than just existing?
They seem that, a lot of downtrodden there. Like I said, it's an industrial town, right? So, Rat tends to survive the downtrodden. I'm guessing it's because it's a bigger city than here. And, I don't like the word, but the Ura, right? They like the Weaver's webs more than Gaia's blissful nature.
Shame that. Well, we might just take in the calm and serenity of your cairn for a bit before we make on our way. Thank you for being such a gracious host.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, if you need anything, this is a cairn that's supposed to build. Our whole goal is to make this a cairn where every tribe can feel at home. There's enough nature for the Talons. There's a nice little down there for the Glasswalkers and the Bone Gnars. Plenty of military compounds to have the children of Gaia push back against. The 60s is our time. We've really been able to get into the public zeitgeist of pushing back against the war, and it's really been helpful with our kinfolk. The Get Offenders can come here to do some fighting once again because of the military bases. The Silverfangs are staying because of tradition, and bringing back Older Brother because this used to be their home, and they belong in their home with the rest of us.
Far out, man. I think we could get down with that righteous cause.
Absolutely.
Well, Grandpa
brother.
will take his leave of this. Yeah. Grandpa will take his leave of this. And kind of speaking as an aside, unless they're still talking with the fine elder here, I think we might have come here too soon. I think we need to go further back before we come back here. If we're going to learn something here, it has to be before this happened. And the secret keepers of the nation, when they owned this place, are something that I think might enlighten us, especially given what this place does right now. I won't speak it aloud, but you all know what it is. I'm wondering if it wouldn't be prudent to seek Pueblo. And I will ask Matthias at this point, what does he feel? What is he thinking? What does any of this mean?
Pueblo sounds good. I think Pueblo's good. I think, given that my ancestors fled Scotland, right? I think going to a place where there's a lot of different people is a connection to me.
Makes sense.
We'll, when we leave here, we'll try to, it'll be a lot easier in the 1960s to boost a car and drive out to Pueblo.
So when you think of yourselves going to Pueblo, you are there.
Oh, fantastic. The best part about Visions.
Oh, perfect.
Excellent.
Ooh, are we in the industrial zone? Because that's like what just kept getting mentioned was the new industrial area.
Yeah, so you're near, well, it's not new. That mill's been there a while, but the steel mill is there, and there's just people everywhere. It's a bustling city. Probably a third bigger than Colorado Springs is at the time, with you hearing multiple languages being spoken all around you. And you see kind of this place with people drinking, making merry kind of thing. You see the light on the way into this place where there's kind of this mixing of different backgrounds and people trying to come together.
Like we stumbled upon a festival of some kind. Maybe we'll find what we seek if we go deeper in, you know?
Howls-In-Memory, do any of these folks smell like they might be a member of the team?
Member of the team?
It changes among them rather than just normal people.
I can try.
I don't think we have a secret handshake, but just senses alone if we want to check it out.
We should bring that up at the next move.
What's that?
Secret handshake.
Oh.
I'm guessing that would be a perception and primal urge.
Usually a gift, isn't it? Since
I don't have that gift.
Oh, okay.
I have sense of sight.
All right.
Yeah.
I will use sense of the unnatural, but your roll might be better than mine. All good. All right. I'll use sense of the unnatural, Keegan, to try to figure out if there be the stink of Garu about.
All right. You get a slight smell. It's one of the people outside. Little guy clearly got thrown out having one too many. Big shaggy beard, glazed over eyes. As Matthias kind of goes up. Hey friend, do you need a hand up? As the guy looks over, is clearly confused as to why Matthias is not terrified of him. Grabs him, picks him up. The guy stands up as you realize he's about 6'4" and about half as wide at the shoulders. Thanks, fella.
Having a rough night of it, cousin?
I see. Not too bad. You gotta put on appearances and stuff like that. Just wanted to fucking drink, you know, but they threw me out, thought I was gonna cause problems, but now I'm hanging about because I know a bunch of pointy-hatted fucking idiots are thinking of coming down and causing problems here tonight. Get my meaning?
Well, that's just plain unacceptable in our book.
Fucking no offense as he looks over at Cora, but basically swords of Heimdall, but, you know, without any of the claws to back up the bravado. Just a sense of self-importance and some guns because the government likes to make sure that they got the guns.
It just sounds like a bunch of fools playing Ghost to me.
Uh-huh. Come on, I'll show you around. They'll let me back in. You got $20 on you?
Yeah.
Thanks. I'm good for it. As he walks in, as you guys walk past the light of the bar, you guys find yourself in New York. Once again, appearances have changed. Could I get a perception occult from the highest, please? Diff 7.
All right.
I'm pretty sure it's old Zeb.
Yeah.
All right. As you start going, you start finding gateway. As things start changing, town starts shrinking, until you guys find yourself back out in Colorado Springs. It's a tiny town. as you are several ancestors deep, and you are in the Umbra, and you see the Great Spirit in the distance back out on just outside of the city, the Great Storm Eater in all of its fury and power. As you see Garu trying to come together, as you see a Silent Strider running past all of you, and then stops and goes, "Siblings?"
Kin.
Listen,
"Kin. There's word. They need help with a great ritual to bind the Storm Eater. It seems that a legend of each tribe is needed to bind it. Word is being spread. Spread the words yourselves. The Storm Eater is defeatable, and we have declared, and peace has been declared between the two brothers and the rest of the nation."
This is important news, Kin. Especially what they viewed us as an incursion in the Pure Lands. We will spread the word. How much time do you think we have?
The goal is to draw as many as possible. I believe that they will do it in 2 turnings of the moon.
We will move. I'll be with you, Kin.
And with you, Kin.
the task such as this, I think spreading out and separating would be easier to get the word out.
What I don't understand is if we're here right now, this succeeded, right? Like this happened, this worked, whatever occurred worked. And Matthias, is there any story? Is there anything that you can remember? I mean, being told you now by spirits because you didn't learn from your tribe that mentioned this.
I know that the White Howlers were not part of this, and that the Black Spirals tried to stop it. I've heard that one of Rainbow Serpent's tribe, the Bunyip, actually came in from Australia to help with the ritual and sacrificed his own life, even though their tribe was going extinct. Maybe it's tied to that?
It could be. Keegan, is a matter of timeline stuff, just for explanation. This would have, the binding of the Storm Eater occurred, when did that happen, timeline-wise? It would have been after the White Howlers fell to the worm, right?
Yes, significantly after.
Yes, significantly farther after, right? Because is this the 1800s when they
Yeah,
bind
this is the
Storm Eater?
1800s, yeah.
Right, okay. All right, just making sure I remembered correctly. And really, who would... Every tribe would probably have presence in North America-ish.
With the exception of the
on
Bunyip,
the far
yeah.
east. With the exception of the Bunyip. No, the Farah, right.
Yeah, because even the Stargazers would have been here given the railroad and things like that.
I mean, I know that part of this, or part of our task too, is also atoning to what, wrongs that were done against the Farah. The Bunyip isn't a bad start. 2 turnings of the moon, could be on the lookout. Otherwise, I would look at Howls-In-Memory if you can remember any of the legends that came forward for this in that story and where they might be. But I think the Bunyip might be the one that we try to look for. Something different that had been clearly wronged in the past, that has something of importance, especially when they went extinct. Matthias might be onto something. I can't think of any other legend that we'd have to necessarily look out for or prevent being killed on the way here. And Zeb will try to remember, or with Dimitri's help, can we think of any legends that like heeded the call and didn't make it?
I'll actually spend a gnosis for perfect recall.
Perfect. Perfect recall suggests that no, every tribe did make it, including the Bunyip, and it seemed that a few of the Garu, including Older Brother, said that they would do their best to try and save the rest of them, and then because of the reconstruction essentially and the reabsorption of older and younger brother into the Garu nation, that never materialized, and none went to speak to the Garu who had invaded Australia and essentially declared war on the Bunyip.
Well, son of a bitch, there it is. So one key part's going to be bringing that tail back and making sure that the Bunyip aren't completely eradicated.
We're gonna do that.
Get ourselves to Older Brother first and make sure it happens before they're absorbed, or do it ourselves. But I don't know how this vision works. If it's a matter of influencing somebody else that's in the vision through another vision, right? And then they're in real time are then influenced by this interaction or however they experience it to go and do that, then great. Probably better if we did that versus us doing it ourselves. It doesn't mean anything for our families to have done it. It means a lot more for older and younger brother to have done that, and to have changed. If this is speaking on some themes and problems that we see later on in our own sept, that might be what we try to do. Try to make that thing happen before this thing is forgotten.
I agree. Let's try to find older or younger brother.
At this point in time, the sept belongs to them, right? It's an older brother, Cairn.
No, at this time, they had already been conquered by the Silver Fangs.
Yeah, god damn it. All right. Well, this will be an interesting bit of persuasion by some very pissed off fucking Garu.
What about the cairn down in Pueblo?
Pueblo doesn't actually have a Cairn. That was Bone Gnars going down to Pueblo to form an unofficial sept to help Pueblo and that area, specifically to alleviate Sacred Stone so they weren't sending everyone everywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Closest, I think it's older brother cairn that I know of is down in Mexico.
It doesn't mean part of my thought is that defeat for older and younger brother being conquered by the Silver Fangs doesn't necessarily mean that they left. There might be some that stayed, that didn't leave.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, the Silver Fangs, I'd like to verify that they're all gone before we go off and try to find and see if we can find more.
Reconnoiter. Good idea.
Right.
I agree then. Check out.
Because, well, and recall, one of the major spirits that you yourself were connected to, the river spirit that you had centuries later, one of their spirits, maybe we look around there and see if perhaps they're tending to some of the old spirits here of the area that older brother and younger brother tended to, versus the ones that the western tribes or the the Wormbringers went for instead. That might be a method. So let's do that. Keegan, we're gonna look and I mean, this would be looking for members of older and younger brother who recognize they've been conquered. The first place that would make sense in Zeb's opinion would be to look at some of the older spirits that Zeb knows are connected to older and younger brother that they might be tending to, that the Silver Fangs either didn't give a shit about or allowed to continue to happen as first step to see if we can find some members of those tribes that are still around here that didn't leave.
Okay. So, looking around, I'm going to need an intelligence investigation from Mark specifically, with the time Mark spent with Malcolm and the things that he'd learned.
Difficulty 6?
I want to go 7.
Okay. Hey.
Alright, moving through, you find something related to the spirit stuff that you'd talked about, and you find something strange in the Umbra specifically that you didn't notice before. And moving down, you see that there is an old member of the older brother performing a rite as you see a barrier holding a bane, using the Karen's power to hold it in place. As he shifts into Krynos instantly and goes, "Step out of this sacred place, monsters. You shall not take my life, lapdogs of Falcon."
Ken, my name is Hezekiah Dustwalker of the Silent Striders. We are passing through, and I serve no son or daughter of Falcon. Instead, we have something important to pass to the tribe of older brother, desperately so, in the hopes to change and make things better for our future children.
And what is that?
There will be a member of the other changing breeds of Gaia that will heed the call. They will heed the call and come to this place to bind the great thing out there. Their sacrifice, if unnoted and untold, will result in the extermination of that group. We know the implications already of what extermination has meant for you all. We would hope that perhaps this task could be taken on by older brother before the assimilation that we know will come from the tribe of Falcon for all that fall beneath their boot.
I understand. As Matthias goes, "Guys, what's that?" As you see that there's a archway in this chamber with a light coming through it.
Step 2, right?
Yep.
Looks like it's our ride.
Alonzi?
You guys pass through, and I'd like another perception occult. Same difficulty there, Sean.
All right.
As you start moving through, you find yourself yourselves ending up closer and closer to the East Coast as time moves on, and it continues to move on until you guys find yourself out in the forest. Deep, primordial forest. You're in the woods of Germany in the medieval ages. As you all stand there in strange forms, Cora being a Valkyrie-like woman with blonde hair and signs of being a Geta Fenris through and through. Mark has a more mixed has a different appearance. Mark actually seems to resemble one of the Warders of Men, the tribe that existed before the Glasswalkers. William resembles one of the Fianna. Zebulon still appears to be one of Owl's children, with features resembling perhaps more of the Middle East at this point, that have migrated this way and been in isolated communities thanks to the Roman Empire not too long ago. And finally, there is a wolf with a thick brown coat with a patch of red fur about his missing eye in the future will be, though he has both now, as does Zeb. But you all have different battle scars as well.
Okay, with our travel through Garu lore and history, where do you think we should go next?
Is my perfect recall still active?
No, it's a new scene.
Okay. Can I make a roll then to see what Dimitri remembers from the stories of the medieval times?
I will actually have
What
you
does
do an
Matthias look
intelligence. Matthias looks a bit worse for wear. He can't seem to change into Krynos form, but he does have red hair. Is much paler at this point, but has a bit of the corruption that one can see in Black Spiral Dancerkin, if but faint, and thus easy to miss, especially if the Watcher wasn't looking for it specifically.
Oh, shoot. Can my Mother's Touch do anything about that?
No, Mother's Touch doesn't heal corruption. Rite of Cleansing does. And like I said, it's all appearance.
Oh, what was that? Well, that was intelligence and...
Intelligence wits, please.
Intelligence wits, okay. I'm sorry, I didn't catch the difficulty.
6, please.
Would be 6, okay. 5 successes.
You recall something that, from memories that are not your own, that there's a Karen nearby.
As Dimitri will pause and say, there's a Karen near here.
Sounds like as good of a place to go as any.
Are we sure that's a good idea? Considering the corruption that's on Matthias right now? And Mark will point it out.
I can stay back, maybe. I don't know. It's a good point.
I think it might be a good idea. Perhaps I could perform the rite of cleansing on you while the others go deal with this.
It's worth checking.
Again, this also might be part of the vision, Mark, where as Matthias gets closer and closer to the point in time where his tribe fell.
Yeah.
Didn't consider that.
We could also just be trying to learn how they fell.
Well, we kind of know how they did, but once they fell, I guess I would assume that the Picts and the Saxons and those that were alive were hunted down eventually and killed or fell or left.
Well, maybe just like a few visions ago, maybe this is something we're supposed to help prevent. Maybe be a cooler head in a heated situation.
Depending on where we are, this could be what? Shadow Lord, Silverfang, or Geta Fenris territory, yeah? So I'm not disinclined to have a look at the sept or at the cairn that's near here, just for a look. At least figure out where we are.
Agreed. We've been everywhere, which way and what.
We'll journey, I guess, to that cairn that we know is nearby, Keegan.
Alrighty. So as you head that way, it is protected by a small village that's obvious as the people kind of greet you with some trepidation, but could I get a perception empathy from everyone? Diff 8. All right.
I'll reroll that. So that's not a fucking straight up botch. Fucking A.
Whew.
Well, I mean, at least that time no, I didn't. So I guess I'll spend a fucking willpower to negate the botch and just fail.
Alrighty. So, you and Cora fail to see it. However, William and Mark and Dimitri get the sense that these people are watching and they are giving information back. You suspect that they are kin who are here to make sure that nothing defiles the Karen, and that perhaps a howl of introduction may ease this, but it seems very likely that everyone in this village is a kenning kin.
I will go ahead and do a howl of introduction.
As you give the howl and the people stand back, they seem shocked at first, and then they move away from you, knowing your power, and kind of acquiesce and give bows as one person comes out from the hut and shifts into Krynos. What strange creatures you are, to march without your own kind. A Talon, a sister of Fenrir, a warder of man, a Fianna, and a Silence Strider. You have nearly the whole nation with your pack, and yet you wander around like pups. What brings you to a Fenrir Karen? Unless, sister, you are looking for a true warrior and a true kin to put a righteous warrior in your belly, or perhaps to show off to these lesser tribes who is the greater, and how Fenrir truly fight. Perhaps they do not challenge you the way your own kind do.
You talk too much, sir. No, we are traveling and just looking for a drink.
Stag and their drink, as he shifts back to Hamid. Perhaps, as he throws his arm around you and shakes you a little bit. But perhaps first a wrestling contest in the snow. Surely your manhood is not shrunk too much in these times to have a little bout, lest you fear you look like a woman when the cold strikes it as we wrestle in the snow.
I have no problem putting you in your place,
so,
young brother. But
and
know
so
that
wrestle.
Manhood means nothing to me.
Very well. As you guys wrestle, it's fucking cold. But you succeed as you head back. As some are looking, they're kind of jeering at Dimitri, laughing. Ah, yes! Another doomsayer! Is that why you came, little brother? To hear his songs? They are pretty, but they are foolish. What is this? This prophecy of Phoenix? Humanity? They mastered fire, and then their great empire fell. This... Humanity wiping out kin. Please, as you hear kind of jeers like that. And then you hear, or are you here to bring more of the prophecies of shadow? One of yours has already come. Something about I saw the northern lands bathed by the bile of a black beast, and the dead humans who feasted on blood tore at each other's throats in rage or in fear. And then from the sullen, stark skies, a hanged man laughed, and I saw his red-robed rogues lurking about on sinister paths. I saw the blood of an innocent boil, and as the snow wafted across the snow, or as the smoke wafted across the snow, I saw a legion rise from ash and dust, and the fate of the Fenris wolves was signed, soft unto stone. The Red Talons have come and told us that every tribe has gained their prophecy, and that they must remember it if they're to succeed in the end times, but the end times came and passed. We defeated the Black Spiral Dancers. They're no threat. They've been crushed under heel. Sometimes they pop up like moles, and then they are killed. Worm is no threat.
Let me ask this question, brother. What if that was not the end time?
Oh, perhaps. I've heard tale of the great Zemi appearing over near our Silver Fang brothers, but it seems that some of them have also been defeated. So I say, the Fenrir are strong. We are numerous. If need be, we could restart the Impergium and be successful. As much as your friend there would love that, we have no inclination towards it. as we fight foes that are strong.
I have no doubt of that. But, just to quell my curiosity, what pray tell was the prophecy that was provided to you?
No, that's the one I just repeated. But I've heard yours as well, little brother. I saw a red wolf and a black wolf, both running in the mist. They called and sang to one another. Then they both became lost. As they ran, panicked, each trying to locate the other by howls and by scent. I saw the other things moving in the mists with them, but I could not see them entirely. These things jumped upon both wolves, and the wolves fought the unseen things, tearing their throats out and scattering their bodies. Then the mists cleared, and both wolves were alone in a great valley, surrounded by the bodies of those they had killed, some foe, but mostly other wolves, both red and black. And the wolves howled together in unison in shame and regret over what they had done. But come, the others will be waiting. We'll run in foreleg to ensure that your companion is happy, and because you are among kin here.
I love that stretch. Let's go.
As you guys start running, you see two trees creating an arch, and you shoot through, and you are further on in the past. And this continues for some time, moving through time, as you see the fall of the Roman Empire, its height, its rise, the Greek city-states, the great Bronze Age collapse, more and more as you continue moving back and back and back, as you see the Neanderthals walking the earth once again, and you find yourself down near the Fertile Crescent, and all of you realize your wolf forms look almost the same. You don't have a tribe. There is only one tribe now, the Garu tribe, and you are at a sept with many Thurges speaking at a moot as you see lion changers, a great boar changer, and a great aurochs changer walking among the sept in harmony. And there doesn't seem to be any other arches here. The land is flat, the plains vast, the game plenty, as humans move as hunter-gatherers across the land. The ancient times, and it is here that you are likely to find what you seek. But that is a story for next time. Thank you to everyone who listened. We'll catch you in that next episode. Bye.
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 See you then.